Hey guys, Angry Beast here bringing you some M60 gameplay on the map Nuketown, and using M60 here with the foregrip, and I'm using Flak Jacket, Hardened, and Tactical Mask Pro. It's definitely my preferred setup when using the M60. You want that Flak Jacket for that explosive resistance because you're not going to be able to move away from them. You want the Hardened for increased penetration, which is really nice on the light machine guns, as they do have pretty good penetration already, and they can basically cut through anything with hardened on it, so that's a really good perk to use. In Tactical Mask, same reason as Flak Jacket, I want to be resistant to those stun grenades because I'm not going to be able to move out of the way of my targets anyway because you got such low mobility with the light machine guns. But anyway, this video is going to be talking about light machine gun balance and Black Ops in particular and how it was across all the other Call of Duties. Let's start with Call of Duty 4. In Call of Duty 4, I believe you had a couple of light machine guns. You had the RPD, the M60, you had the M249 SAW, and maybe you had one other. It's slipping my mind right now, but the RPD did 40 damage across all ranges and had a rate of fire of about 600 rounds per minute, and it had very low recoil, making it an ideal weapon for stopping powers. It'd be a 2-hit kill at all ranges with low recoil. However, the downsides of it were you moved at about 87% speed, and you had a very low rate of fire at 600 rounds per minute. So they were pretty balanced in that game. You had the M249 though, on the other hand, which did, I believe, 30 damage at all ranges and had a rate of fire of about 900 rounds per minute. So that was basically the opposite of that, and it had really high recoil. So basically, you traded your accuracy for increased fire rate and greater close range performance. You also had the M60 in that game, which had 50 to 40 damage and a 600 fire rate, which really wasn't used that much because there was no reason to use it over the RPD because it had a greater recoil, and that greater recoil increased the amount of bullets that would miss on your target. And when you did 50 to 40 damage, you had to have stopping power anyway to keep the 2-hit kill at all ranges, so it wasn't very well used in that game. But overall, the light machine guns are pretty balanced in Call of Duty 4. Now I move on to Modern Warfare 2. You have, I believe, 4 light machine guns in that game. You have the L86 LSW, the AUG H-Bar, the RPD, and one other, the M240. Let's start with the L86 LSW, which was obviously fully automatic weapon. It shot at about 900 rounds per minute in that game, and it did 40 damage across all ranges, but it had really heavy recoil. So you had great close range performance. It had the highest damage output of all weapons in the game, excluding the rapid fire MP5K, and it did high damage at close range, and it had pretty good hipfire spread, but it had terrible recoil, making it a very good close range light machine gun. On the other hand, you had the RPD, which did 40 damage across all ranges and a 600 fire rate, which made it more like its Call of Duty 4 variant and a longer range weapon. So that gun was pretty balanced as well. If you want a long range light machine gun, that was the one to use. You put it with foregrip, it had almost no recoil. Then you come over to the hybrid between the assault rifles and the light machine guns, the AUG H-Bar. That gun was a little bit different than all the light machine guns. Instead of having the default 100 magazine, it had the 42 round magazine, and it had pretty high accuracy as well as really clean iron sights, which made it an ideal one to use at middle ranges because it had a little bit of recoil but not that much. But if you did put a grip on that thing, it had almost no recoil, which was crazy. This is one of my preferred weapons in that game. It was underused, but it was very powerful. It did the same 40 damage to all the other light machine guns across all ranges. And it was one of my favorite weapons. Then you have the M240, which did 30 damage across all ranges instead of the 40 by all the other light machine guns. And it did the 30 damage because it had a higher fire rate of about 1,000 rounds per minute, and it had a little bit higher recoil than its other partner, which I can't remember its name. There was another one, but the silencer was broken on that weapon, and it made it a very hard weapon to use. But it did have a little bit better handling characteristics than its other partner with the 30 damage. So they all were pretty balanced in Modern Warfare 2, except for the exception of the silencers being broken on half of them. But that's another story there. Those are just little things that never were fixed. Then you move on to Black Ops. In Call of Duty Black Ops, the light machine guns retain their 40 damage across all ranges, except for this baby here, the M60. But there is no stopping power, so the other light machines are guaranteed to be a 3-hit kill at all ranges, which isn't as important in this game. With the 3-hit kill at all ranges, you're better off using a weapon like the FAMAS because you don't have the lower movement speed. You have the same clip size at 30 rounds, and you have the fire rate, which is pretty much the same as well. Right here, the host migration succeeds, but I take a loss because that's another thing that's broken in this game, but that's another story. So basically, the light machine guns turned into yet another assault rifle. They didn't have much advantage over the assault rifles. They had the higher capacity fused extend mags, but that's about it. They moved slower. They had the same fire rate as some of the others, and even some of them had slower fire rates when you take in consideration the RPK, which is crazy recoil, low fire rate, and only 40 round clip. So there weren't many advantages using light machine guns in Black Ops. But they still were usable, as you can see in this game. It's like 15-20 headquarters game. Pretty nice gameplay. But they did have one thing over the assault rifles, and they always have had it, is their increased penetration through surfaces. As you saw right there, I shot right through that house right there. Hit him in 2 bullets with a headshot through a wall. And that's what the LMGs are meant for. Take up a defensive position and shoot people through cover, and you will succeed with these weapons. Specifically this weapon here, because it has the highest damage of all the light machine guns with the lowest fire rate and pretty high recoil, but I'm using with a foregrip here, so that kind of negates some of that recoil. It's very, very effective for shooting people through cover, and especially if you use hardened on it, they're going to have a really, really hard time killing you through surfaces. So that's where the LMG's little niche comes in. Other than the AUG bar, not many of them had any other advantages to using it, because you move it to 87.5% movement speed, which is pretty bad, honestly. But then you come over to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3, the light machine guns are absolutely terrible. They have the same penetration as the assault rifles. They all are reduced to, like, I believe, 40-30 damage across all ranges. They lose their 3-hit kill at all ranges, and it's replaced with wacky numbers for all the assault rifles. They now move at 80% speed, and they all have the 100 clip size, which is nice, but it's not too much of a big deal. There's no real reason to use it over a weapon like the G36 or the ACR, because those also do 3 to 4 hit kills at all ranges, and they have faster movement speed, less recoil. The only advantage you gain with the LMGs in Modern Warfare 3 is the higher clip size, which isn't too big of a deal. Excluding the L86 LSW with the thermal sight, which has absolutely no recoil for whatever reason, there's no reason to use the light machine guns in Modern Warfare 3. So other than oh yeah, the host migration is actually twice in this game. That's a little bit odd, but there's no real reason to use them in Modern Warfare 3. So I hope that in Black Ops 2 they make the light machine guns usable. David Vonderhaar had a couple tweets out there stating that, hey, what can we do to make the light machine guns usable? My opinion on this topic is that, hey, what the light machine guns should do is they should have the constant 3-hit kill across all ranges. That's very, very important for the light machine guns, because without it, there's no real reason to use it over an assault rifle. They should have the high penetration. They should actually have the high fire rate, like around 700 to 800 rounds per minute, to put them on par with the assault rifles. But they should give them the slow movement speed. That's what makes them unique. And this weapon here, it's my favorite light machine gun. If you have to use a light machine gun in Black Ops, use this one. It's the only one with a 100-round magazine. And it's got a great sound to it. I don't know. The weapon sound means a lot to me. It sounds just like, sounds like a freaking pig, and I love it. But they're, other than the M60, all the light machine guns in this game are very, very untraditional. So I wouldn't recommend using the light machine guns unless you're trying to get some XP or whatever for the guns, or just have a fun time. Because the HK21, let's start from the beginning. The HK21 does the 40 damage across all range with a high fire rate, about 750 rounds per minute, which is on par with a lot of the assault rifles. But it also has average to high recoil, so it's going to be less effective at longer ranges. So that's a downside to it. Then you have the RPK, which is an absolutely terrible gun. It has one advantage to it over the HK21, and that's a 40-round clip size. But they do the same damage and the same fire rate, but it has crazy, crazy recoil and terrible iron sights, in my opinion. I know some people like them, but in my opinion, it's a terrible weapon. But to each their own. If you really enjoy using the RPK, more power to you. I just don't like it. Then you come across the M60 E4, and then the E4. That's the Modern Warfare variant. But you come across the M60, which is a very, very, very unique weapon in this game. It's the only LMG that's capable of killing in 2 bullets. In fact, it's the only fully automatic weapon in the game capable of killing in 2 bullets, which sets it apart from the other light machine guns. Not to mention the fact that it has the 100-round magazine, which is nice. It's one of the things that makes LMGs usable in game modes like Headquarters, because you don't want to be caught reloading around every corner. But the reload is absolutely terrible on this weapon. The fire rate is less than optimal. But You know, what are you going to do? This is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's just one of those weapons that you have to use in every single game. I have to at least give it a try. Even though it's terrible in some games like Call of Duty 4, there's no reason to use it. And Modern Warfare 3 is just absolutely outclassed by the LD6 because it only retains its 2-hit kill potential for a couple of meters, honestly. So, you know, what are you going to do? They didn't balance the LMGs too well in Modern Warfare 3, but at least in this game, there's some reasons to use them. And then finally, you come across the Stoner 63, which is a very, very unique weapon. It's kind of like the AUG bar in Modern Warfare 2. It's a assault rifle LMG hybrid. It's got the fastest reload of all the light machine guns. It's got the aim down sight time of a submachine gun. Of a assault rifle. It has the fire rate of the FAMAS, and it has a 3-hit kill at all ranges, which basically makes it a FAMAS with slower movement speed. One thing that sets it apart, though, from the FAMAS is that it can have a higher fire rate than, a higher clip size than the FAMAS. It has up to 60 rounds with extended mags, which is kind of interesting. They made all these, most of the light machine guns only have 30-round mags in this game, which is an interesting decision. Right there, I want to explain what I was doing there. I have Hardened, but I don't have Hardened Pro. I got all my penetration kills, and I got my Destroy Through a Wall, so I was just trying to get Hardened Pro there. I don't succeed getting in this game, but I do get it in the game after this. Hardened Pro is very, very useful in this game, especially when you're using a light machine gun. It reduces flinch. Right here, this is what I'm talking about, Hardened. You can't do that with any other weapon. That door is impossible to shoot through with any other class of weapon. For whatever reason, the doors in this game have extreme resistance to bullets. But that door is only shoot throughable if you have an LMG with Harden. So that's what I'm talking about, penetration. That's where they succeed in a map like this, where you got a lot of cover and a lot of places where people like to hide. You can shoot through cover like it's nothing. There's only a couple exceptions. Sandbags are really hard to shoot through, as is concrete. But, you know, that's what you'd expect. Sandbags aren't meant to be shot through. I made the mistake of not turning around fast enough, so that was my mistake there. Ways to effectively use the light machine gun. You're not going to effectively use the light machine gun in any other game mode, in my opinion, than domination or, in a kill-based game mode like TDM or free-for-all. It's not the effective way to use a light machine gun. You're not leveraging its high capacity and slow movement speed. You need to be in a game mode like Headquarters or Demolition, where you can take advantage of that from high clip size and just mow people down constantly without reloading. That's where the LMGs shine. But it's hard to get in a situation like that in a lot of cases because you're going to be moving towards the objective a lot of the time. So lightweight and marathon might sound like a good choice for a light machine gun, but honestly I can't recommend it because you want to play the light machine gun strengths, and moving around is not that. They have a very, very slow draw time and bad hip fire, so unless you want to waste your second tier perk on steady aim, there isn't really any reason to try and run around with a light machine gun. You want to get in a position like this one where you have some cover and you can duck behind it and shoot through that cover as people try and approach you. This is the way I'd recommend using the light machine guns. I know some people disagree, like, some people just like to rush with the light machine guns. I don't find it successful. I get lucky at the hip fire there, but it's kind of funny how the light machine guns are used some of the times when you see people using them. They don't know how to use them effectively. I realize here that we probably could have captured this and finished out the game, but I was talking with a couple people in the lobby, and they said that they wanted to draw it out as soon as we had secured the victory. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Give me a couple kills, get a nice YouTube game. So, my equipment here is a Claymore. I don't think I put it down at all. It's just not something I use much. If I do think about it, though, I'll usually put it in front of a door or whatever to help cover the place. But this gameplay is winding down. My secondary here is the ASP dual wield main because they're fast of swap time. If I'm using a light machine gun, I want to have that ability to swap really fast because if I do run out of ammo, it's a bad situation with the LMG. Pick up the Valkyrie rockets here, and I actually get like 3 or 4 kills with these things. The Valkyrie rockets are actually very, very underrated in this game. I mean, they're good. I mean, look at that. They have a good blast radius, about that of the Predator missile from Modern Warfare 2. So I enjoy using it. You know, a lot of people don't. I don't know. I don't know why they're so underused, but this is a nice little 50 and 20 with the M60 gameplay on Nuketown. I hope you guys enjoyed. Light machine guns are pretty well balanced in Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, but in this game, they kind of failed on that. I'm Angry Beast, and I'm signing out.